So if Monica, you'd like to get started, we're very excited for this talk this evening.
Sounds good. Well, welcome everybody. I am very excited as well. So my name is Monica, and you can ask questions in the chat throughout. I'll check that here and there. And at the end, we'll have a just discussion and questions. Okay, so tonight's topic, spring clean your pantry. So my name is Monica. I'm a functional nutritional therapist, and I want to make eating healthy fun, simple, and tasty because healthy food is delicious. I graduated from the Nutritional Therapy Association in 2019, and I now have my own business called Monica Cote Nutritional Therapy, where I help one-on-one clients go through. I do like pantry cleanouts and then meal plans, recipe books, personalized those to my clients. And I also do one-on-one nutrition, like functional nutrition consulting, and so that it's a personalized experience and we're identifying what they specifically need help with. So this is a disclaimer, the information in this talk is for informational purposes only and is not meant to treat, cure, or prevent disease. Okay, so here's what we'll talk about tonight. Why go through your food in the house, how to do a pantry clean out, what to do with unhealthy foods, what to replace the toxins with, how to navigate the grocery store and find healthy food. And then I'll have some bonus resources for you that I'll send to you tomorrow. And I'll just discuss, tell you a little bit more about what I do, and then we'll have a question and answer. We'll also talk about kind of like the basics of a healthy diet as well. Okay. So why do we want to avoid processed foods? Processed foods increases the risks for trouble sleeping. I've had some clients say that they just are sleeping a lot better after we've worked together for a little bit, which is exciting. Behavior issues, mood swings, like different ingredients in foods are linked to even memory and concentration problems. So energy dips and fatigue. Like we should have level energy throughout the day. We shouldn't be getting tired like mid-morning or mid-afternoon or needing coffee all day. We shouldn't need that much coffee. Acne. So I got into the nutrition field because I had bad acne when I was younger, and I tried all different lotions and creams and everything, and nothing worked. And then someone mentioned, oh, maybe it's a diet. So I cut out bread for a week. So like I was eating highly processed white bread. So I cut out bread for a week and my face cleared up so much. And I was like, wow, okay. So that was the start of my journey to finding healthier foods. And it just brought me so much joy. And I was like, this is exciting. And just, it's so beautiful to seeing like all the colors on your plate. So diet and acne are connected for a lot of people. It varies. Acid reflux. So we need stomach acid to digest our food. And a lot of people think acid reflux is from too much stomach acid, but it's actually from too little stomach acid and your stomach's not able to digest the food. So like kind of ferments and then goes back up, and that's where you get the acid reflux. So there's certain, like sugar decreases stomach acid, stress decreases stomach acid. And then we also need cofactors to make stomach acid, like minerals like zinc. So obesity, high sugar diet increases obesity because the sugar is what's stored as the fat. So your body, the hormone insulin stores the extra glucose as fat. Depression. So our brain needs specific neurotransmitters to make our brain needs nutrients to make neurotransmitters to keep us happy. Like B6 is this big one, proteins, fats, and then learning difficulties are connected with different pesticides even. Okay. So basically, why is it important to eat healthy? Food provides vital nutrients to our body. These nutrients support our mental health, liver, heart, bones, joints, blood sugar, energy, digestion, skin, hormones, etc. And without these nutrients, it is very hard to live to our fullest potential and sustain long-term health. Okay, so I'll check the chat. Okay. So I want to share with you one of the big things that surprised me when I was learning about like eating healthy and food. I read a book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Dr. Weston A. Price. So Dr. Price was a dentist and he studied indigenous tribes around the world in the 1930s and 40s. So he mainly looked at their teeth, but he looked at the whole body health as well, and he looked at their diet. And he found that all of the people that he looked at, they all had basically straight teeth. He didn't find any healthy vegan culture, so he didn't really find any culture that was vegan. Diets high in fat. Their diets were high in fat-soluble vitamins A, D, K, and E. They prepared their grains, seeds, legumes, and nuts very carefully, so they soaked them and sprouted them. 30 to 80% of the diet came from fat. So the quality of the fat matters, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. They ate food found in their surroundings. So they were hunting and sourcing for their foods. They didn't have any grocery stores to go to. So they're basically living off the land. And then, so they had, as well as, so they didn't have any tooth decay or cavities. It was very rare. It was like point something percent of the people had a cavity. And then they didn't have any of the chronic diseases of modern man, like tuberculosis, heart disease, obesity, cancer, until processed breads and sugar were introduced. So then they saw like their kids started having crooked teeth, cavities, they started getting all these different diseases. So this was like, wow, this basically was like, okay, what we're experiencing today isn't normal. Okay, so let's talk more about pantry cleanout. Why is it important to do a pantry cleanout? If you want to stick to a healthy diet, you need to have healthy food in the house. So think about the food you currently have in your house. What do you tend to reach for when you're hungry? So how does that, like, do you even have good like food available? Or you're like, oh no, like I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner. And then maybe you're always ordering out, or you want to bring lunch to work, but you don't have anything to bring. So like you're ordering lunch out at work. So it's helpful to have good food available so that you can bring lunch to work. You have an answer to the question when the question of what's for dinner. I don't like, so you know, okay, I have some chicken in the freezer, I have some chicken in the fridge, or I have some salad. So you'll have food available, or snacks. You'll have snacks that keep your energy levels up instead of spike and drop because of the sugar potential in the snack. So that's why we want to do that. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to why you might want to be doing a pantry clean out right now? You can put it in the chat. Yeah, so if anyone has it in the chat, I'll be checking that here and there. But yeah, if you think of anything, drop it in there. Okay, so now we'll talk about how to do a pantry clean out. So first step would be to look for the unhealthy foods and ingredients. Second step is donate or toss these foods, or you can eat them if they're still good, or they haven't like spoiled. And third step is replace these foods with healthy alternatives. So I'm going to go through each one of these steps. Number one, identify the toxic foods. So this list is like some big ones, but there is a lot more food ingredients or foods to look out for. So sugar can be hidden in a lot of things. Like from yogurt, they add sugar to just vanilla yogurt, they add sugar to they add it to a lot of things. Hydrogenated fats, vegetable oils, margarine. So like we always thought margarine and vegetable oils were good, or in the past like 100 years, those have been more advertised as good. But those are highly inflammatory foods. They contain a lot of preservatives that we don't want. Artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, and sweeteners. Right, so then like sugar alcohols or artificial sweeteners like aspartame, which is in NutraSweet, sucralose, which is in Splenda, and then some others. So those have a potential link to messing with your blood sugar as well. And your body doesn't really know what to do with them. They're not natural, so those aren't ideal, and they still give you that sweet taste. Stevia and monk food are okay. You want to look for good quality of those. So like kind of like few ingredients in those ones. Natural flavors, they can hide stuff in those. So you think, oh, natural, like that's fine. So that basically just means it has to come from plants or animals. But once it like goes into the factory, they can add like up to 100 different ingredients or chemicals to make a different flavor. So that under the ingredient natural flavors, they can add a lot of different things. If it's like one of the big allergens, they have to list that. But if it's not, you don't know what's in it. So you'd have to contact the company. Added vitamins. So those they'll add like folic acid or different B vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin A. They'll add those to different packaged foods like cereals, milk, mac and cheese, pastas. So those, it's usually the cheap vitamin form, so the synthetic form that your body doesn't know what to do with. So like folic acid, that's the not as well absorbable form of folate, which is B9. And it doesn't convert very well at all to folate, and it's a very slow process. And if you have too much of it, if you have too much folic acid and it doesn't get absorbed, it can lead to other problems, as research showing it may suppress your body's ability to fight tumors and stuff like that. So you want to watch out for added vitamins. Vitamin D is another one. You want D3, but they'll add D2 because it's cheaper, and that's not the active form, so your body doesn't really know what to do with that either. It's not natural. And then, but when you're eating whole foods, your body's going to be getting all these nutrients, and it's going to know what to do with it. And then added colors, those are also linked to gut health, like gut permeability. Okay. So more foods and ingredients to look out for. GMOs, so genetically modified organisms. GMOs are used to modify crops to help them grow bigger, last longer, and become less susceptible to bugs and disease. It also helps prevent foods from browning. There's research showing the potential link between GMOs and gut permeability, increased allergies, and immune health. So like a weakened gut will lead to more allergies as well. Another thing with GMOs, the bugs in the crops are becoming, so it helps the crop become stronger against pesticides. And now bugs are becoming more resilient to the pesticides. So now they have to make even more pesticides to spray on the crops to kill the bugs because the bugs are adapting to it. So that's a whole nother thing for the environment. That's not good. So it's not good when they change the way the food's already made either. So ingredients and foods. So continued buying organic. This organic is a certification. So organic foods have to be non-GMO. So look for non-GMO verified on the label as well. That's another certification that foods have to go through. And there's only certain foods that are allowed to be genetically modified. And these foods are corn, soybeans, cotton, potatoes, papaya, summer squash, canola, alfalfa, apples, and sugar beets. So if these foods are hidden in a lot of foods. So like corn is in so many things, and it's also hidden under different names. So if you want to know different names for corn, I'm sure you can find that Googling it. Soybeans are in everything, or soybean oil, and sugar beets. They add that for sugar into foods. So we want to try to avoid GMOs. I will check the chat. Let's see. All right, natural flavors, chemically identical to the flavors found in Whole Foods. Probably. Or are you saying like they make them taste like the actual foods?
I thought by law they had to be chemically identical to whatever flavor they're, they just found a way to make that flavor using chemicals, which is cheaper.
Yeah, so they're still using chemicals, but it has to taste the same as the natural one.
Yeah, but isn't it supposed to be chemically identical to the actual flavor, or no?
I haven't seen that terminology. I looked it up the other day, and I don't know if that's something new. That wasn't, but it does taste similar.
Okay.
I'm not positive. I'll look that up and I can get back to you on that.
All right.
Yeah, you can. So if you could email me your email, or you could put it in the chat, and I can save that so I can get back to you on that one.
Okay.
And then yeah, so beet extract added for color, that's fine. Yep. Could just make sure it's non-GMO, because beets could be highly GMO'd, but yes, that's good. Yeah, same thing for annatto, which is added to some cheeses to make them orange. Yeah, I think that's fine. I've seen some things I forget, but I think that's fine. Annatto is a vegetable extract, actually adds a teeny bit of vitamin A to cheese. Isn't annatto okay? Yes, I think so. Yeah, but still has chemicals that aren't good. Yeah, so natural flavors, they still are allowed to add stuff. So I don't know what the chemically identical, what that completely means. Seems kind of odd, but I'll still look that up. So thank you.
It would be something, there's artificial flavors and then there's natural flavors. So
Yes,
there must be a difference between the two.
there is. So the natural just means it has to come originally from plants or an animal. So like they get the original base of the flavor from one of those two sources, but then they add a bunch of other stuff to it.
Huh.
yeah, so, but yeah, chemical identical. So I'm guessing it just like has to taste like it, but these can still add stuff. But I'll still look that up. Might as well. Okay. So thank you. Okay. So step 2, toss, use, or donate the food that you want to get rid of. So toss the spoiled food, cook the foods that are still good, and then donate what you don't want or you won't eat to a food pantry if you don't want to throw it out. Okay, so step number 3, replacing the junk. This is the fun part. So I want to talk about the kind of the basics of a healthy diet so you have a better understanding of what to replace it with. So basically, if your great grandmother would eat it, it's probably good. So meat, fish, eggs, veggies, nuts, seeds, fruit, whole grains, raw dairy, healthy fats, and fermented foods. So more about fats, we want to avoid the bad fats like canola oil, soybean, safflower, sunflower, and cottonseed. These fats are highly processed, GMO'd, and go rancid very easily. They are highly inflammatory oils that are highly connected with heart disease, arthritis, and more. So we want to have the good fats, the healthy fats that help with inflammation and mental health. And I'll talk more about that in a sec. So coconut oil, olive oil. You want to get extra virgin olive oil and extra virgin like coconut oil. It's just how they extract the oils is safer and it doesn't damage it as much. Grass-fed butter, ghee, lard, tallow, duck fat, nuts, and fish. So these are more the healthy fats that we've been eating for generations and we've been fine. So it's like if these were linked to disease, then our ancestors should have had diseases because these are the fats they ate. But they were healthy, so it kind of shows that they're okay for you, or they're good for you. So why do we need healthy fat? Fat supports brain health, and fun fact is our brain is 60% fat, so we need that to support our brain. Hormones, it supplies vitamins A, D, E, and K. It cushions our bones and joints and supplies slow burning energy to stay full longer. So like when you have a meal and suddenly you get hungry in an hour, it's like maybe you need some more fat in that to keep you sustained. Like that's like the log on the fire. And then carbohydrates are like the kindling. They burn quickly for quick energy. So we want a balance. Okay, so talk more about the quality of food because a lot of times today we've kind of generalized like, oh, all wheat is bad, all dairy is bad, all of this is bad, but we don't want to look at it so much as this food group is bad, it's the quality of it that's bad. So like, for example, raw dairy versus pasteurized. Unpasteurized dairy still has the enzymes, still has the enzyme lactose to help it be digested. It still has all the vitamins and minerals in it. Where when you pasteurize it, it kills the enzymes to help it be digested and it kills all the vitamins so then they have to add those vitamins back into it. So it's pretty easy to find raw milk cheese. Milk is harder to find. But if the cows are being tested or the milk is being tested and they're healthy cows, grass-fed cows, it's very rare that you have an issue with unpasteurized milk. Grass-fed beef versus conventionally raised beef. So there's actually more nutrients in grass-fed beef than conventionally raised meats. So the nutritional profile is different. And there's more toxins in the conventionally raised meat because they're in a crowded feedlot. They're being fed corn, which is not the natural diet. And as a result, there's more omega-6s, where in grass-fed dairy, there's more omega-3s, and we want some more omega-3s because the diet has so much omega-6s now. And then organic grown produce versus conventional. Organic has more nutrients in it because the soil is healthier. It's more natural growing process compared to conventionally grown produce, which has a lot of chemicals sprayed on it and the soil is not healthy. I'm just gonna check the chat box. Want to learn wean off Prilosec by changing diet. Yes, so that would be, you can email me separate, and I won't explain too much about that now, but that would take a bit, and I can't tell you to get off of that, but you can email me separate and I could help you with that if you wanted to. Tallow is under fat from cooking meat. It's liquid when warm and solid when cold. Yes. Oh, what is tallow? Okay. What about peanut oil? That one is debatable. I've seen things that's not great. I think it's something you probably wouldn't want to use every day, but I think that one's fine. Okay. So that's that. Some more about how to know you're buying good quality food. Grass-fed beef. So you want to see like grass-fed or 100% grass-fed, because they could still say it's grass-fed, but on the last, in the last like 2 months, they can feed it a lot of corn to make it bigger. So you want to see 100% grass-fed. So dairy, organic on the labels, because organic is a certification. Not all organic food is good. They can still make organic pasta, organic mac and cheese, organic cereal, still a processed food, but the ingredients used were organic, but it still doesn't mean it's healthy. Non-GMO, like non-GMO verified, pasteurized on label. You see a lot of foods that say like eggs, you see used with cage-free eggs. Doesn't really mean much. It just means that they're not in a cage, but they were still in a big barn crowded. So they still weren't able to go out and roam around. So they're still not raised naturally as a chicken. So pasteurized or like free range, those are better words to look for because it means that they were more likely to be able to roam outside a little bit. Look for food that has few ingredients and ingredients you can pronounce. Buy local if you can, and get to know your farmer. So additional healthy eating tips. Eat seasonally. So your ancestors didn't have grocery stores, so they had to eat seasonally. So what was available in the winter is different than what's available in the summer. And it helps keep your body in balance when you eat in season as well. It's good to switch it up, so you're not eating the same thing every day. So I think in the fall, you have all the squashes. So that's all the carbohydrates, like that's getting your body ready for the winter. And in the spring, you have more like fresh salads. So that's kind of like helping you detox and get ready for the spring and summer. Planning your meals so you don't have to grocery shop like every day and you have food available is good. So meal planning is great. You can make like a template in a Google Doc or Word document, or just on a piece of paper and write down, or if you have a planner, just write down what you eat each day. And then you'll know, okay, I can take the chicken out on Monday out of the freezer so that it's thawed out by Wednesday. Or say you have a late night on Tuesdays, so you'll make sure you make enough food on Monday, so you don't have to cook on Tuesday, so you have leftovers. It can also help add variety, so you're not eating all the same thing every day. And then you can, when you plan your meals, you write down your grocery list of all the foods you need that week, so that you only have to grocery shop like once or twice. And it helps you eat healthier as well because you're planning it out and you're prepared. It gives you peace of mind knowing you have good food available. And that's pretty much it. It has some benefits. So give it a try. It has a lot of benefits. And then when you do cook the food and like you're storing it away, put like a piece of tape on it and write down the date of when you made that, so that if you forget about it or it gets stuck in the back of your, it goes back into the back of your fridge, you know when it was made, and you can be like, oh, this is a week old, probably not good anymore. Okay. So we need all three macronutrients: fat, protein, and carbohydrates. And there's no one size fits all diet. We're all unique depending on our activity level, gender, age, genetics, and overall health. So for example, an athlete is probably going to need more carbohydrates than someone who has a desk job and uses their brain all day. They're going to need more fat. So everybody's different. When I work with clients, I identify their lifestyle and like the areas to make sure they are getting the nutrients and macronutrients they need for their unique lifestyle. Okay, so now we'll talk more about, nothing in the chat, shopping for good quality food. Okay. Explore the grocery store by reading labels and focus on buying whole foods with few ingredients. And I'll send you a list of foods that you can replace, that you can stock your house with that are good, like stocking your freezer, stocking your pantry. I'll send you a list. But reading labels is very important. But when you're focusing on like whole foods, then you won't have any labels to read. So that's helpful. Okay, we got a chat. Good to hear that you don't recommend keto. Yes, I would miss the carbs. Yes, I don't recommend keto. There's a small population that'd be good for it, but you still need the carbohydrates and it's not good long term. Okay, additional tips for grocery shopping. Shop the outskirts of the store. So this is where you'll find the most nourishing food. So you think about like the produce, the meat, the seafood, like the dairy or the cooler section. Not that everything in that section is good. Shop the sales. So if you're looking to save some money, shop the sales and shop seasonal. So seasonal foods like produce, seasonal produce is usually on sale because there's more of an abundance of it. So shopping seasonal will help you save money on that, and you're going to be benefiting yourself as well. Always check for added preservatives and sugars. Don't be fooled by fancy packaging or claims like diet, gluten-free, natural, and low fat. So these kind of things, they catch your eye and you think, oh, like they're healthier for you. But usually to make the food taste better, they have to add something else to it. And usually that alternative that they add isn't any better than the food that they took out. So low fat, they usually add more sugar to it to make it taste better. And then so you're gonna get the sugar, which is gonna raise your blood sugar, and you're not gonna have the fat in it to help it absorb slower. So it's actually worse for you. All natural, that doesn't have an actual definition for the food. So companies just throw that on there and they don't really have to back it with anything. Like organic actually has to go through testing. Natural doesn't have to go through any testing. Gluten-free, usually the alternative that they use isn't any better than the gluten. And then diet sodas, they usually add like the sugar, alcohols, or artificial sweeteners that aren't any better. So focus on whole foods like meat, seafood, produce, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. And it'll taste great. Other places to source good quality food. Local natural markets. You still want to read the labels there, but there's going to be more of an abundance of good foods there. Join a food co-op. So this you can buy in bulk as well. There's actually a food co-op in Townsend. They meet once a month and they order from UNFI. So if you want that info, let me know and I can send you that. Buying in bulk to save money. Because usually if you buy things in bulk, it's a little cheaper. So if you want to save money, like we'll buy a ton of nuts, just like pounds of nuts, and put in the freezer in it. Refrigerator and last. Online ordering services like local meat ordering boxes. So we've been getting Walden Local, which is they're based out of New England and they support New England farmers. So each month you get a bag of like grass-fed or pasture-raised chicken and beef or pork. Or butcher boxes nationwide. That one's another popular service. And then farmers markets, it's spring, so farmers markets will be starting up, and get to know your farmer, like at the farmers markets. Ask them how they grow their food, how they raise their meats, whatever else you want to know. It's good to get to know them. And then CSAs are great. So those are community support agriculture. So that is when you pay more upfront. So you pay the farm in the beginning of the season, and then each week or each month you get a share of like their meat or vegetables. And it's a great way to support your community and get good food. So let's see, I'll check the chat. We had one chat. Aren't frozen vegetables okay? Yes. Those actually some people can say are better because they picked them and then they froze them. So they're picked fresh, where a lot of vegetables you get fresh, they were picked before they were ripened. So they had to like ripen them or they're not as good. So there's arguments saying frozen vegetables are better. So yes, put a ton of frozen veggies in your freezer. That's great. So there's additional ways to source food. Websites to find local farmers. So two big ones are Local Harvest or Eat Wild. So these you can like put in your zip code and see what farmers are in your area, and if they do like CSAs or things like that. The Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 lists. So these were made by the Environmental Working Group, and the Dirty Dozen is a list of the 12 most sprayed crops, and then the Clean 15 is a list of the least sprayed crops. So this is great if you're trying to save money and you don't want to buy everything organic. So to buy everything on the Dirty Dozen list, buy all those organic, And then on the Clean 15 list, it's okay if you don't buy those organic. Another idea for like what you should buy organic and not is if you're peeling the food or crop produce, you don't have to buy organic. But if you're not peeling it, then you should buy organic. So you can just search like Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, Dirty Environmental Working Group, and it will come up. I do have a list. I do have these direct links on my website, monicacotefntp.com/resources. I have direct links to these websites. Okay. And conclusion. So eating healthy is important if we want to be healthy and happy. Today's chronic diseases are not normal. We can do something about it. Identify the junk, toss it or eat it, and replace it with whole foods. Read labels, buy organic and good quality food, or buy local and good quality food. Eat a balance of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And then I'll be giving you bonus take-home resources of 30+ healthy foods to keep available and simple spring meals, a mini recipe book. If you want some more healthy recipes, I have a bunch on my website. So you can click the mini recipe books tab, and they are like mini recipe books of like around 5 recipes, give or take. And it's in a PDF, so you can save it on a computer or you can print it. So I have some like healthy dessert recipes, like 15-minute meals, some biscuits and breads, and a few others. Okay, so now I'll just quickly explain more about what I do if you want me to do the Pantry Cleanout for you. So I have 2 options: Pantry Cleanout for everyday healthy eating. So this would be more of like I'll do it for you, or 3 steps to building everyday healthy habits. This is a 12-week program. It varies. It could be longer depending how things go. So this is more of like we'll do it together. It's more of a personalized option. So option 1, you'll get a personalized pantry, fridge, and freezer clean out. So I can do these virtually as well. So I will identify what would need to go or be replaced. I'll give you a list of what you need to replace. I'll give you ideas of what to replace them with. I'll help you grocery shop if need be. And I'll give you a personalized recipe book to help you get started with those new foods. So there'll be specific foods that you'll add, and then you'll be like, oh, what do I do with all these new foods? So I'll help you with that. And then option 2, my 12-week program. So it include everything from the above option, but it's more personalized. So weekly personalized meal plans and recipe books, health assessment questionnaire to compare symptoms before and after, so that we know what you specifically need for your lifestyle, your nutrition needs. And I'll help you with the cooking as well, because I don't use recipes always now, because I just kind of know like, okay, these take this amount of time cooking, or these flavors go. So I'll change recipes, I'll add stuff, I'll play around with it. So I'll help you with that as well. So if you want more information, you can email me, call me, or visit my website. And this is on the second page. Okay, so thank you so much. I don't know how we're doing for time, but yeah, so if you have any questions or you want to unmute and ask then, yeah, so that's it. Some last words, I guess, would be go easy on yourself, have fun. You don't have to eat healthy every day. Like your diet doesn't have to be 100% like perfect, because that's not healthy either, to be like so consumed about that. But if you're eating like 80% of your diet from whole foods, then you can have some fun with your friends sometimes. If you go out, you can have some ice cream, like have some pizza once in a while. It's not going to kill you. So kind of have fun with it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've got. I guess some other notes would be like another food that they hide stuff in are nut milks. So nut milks, like you're like, oh, nut milks are healthy for you, but those they add a ton of like preservatives and added vitamins, and it's not exactly. It doesn't have much of the nut in it. So making those homemade is always easy. Oh, I have a recipe book with some homemade nut milk options. Yeah, so that's it. Let's see, we got some chat. Do you have any quick tips for foods we should have in our pantry? Actually, I have some examples to show you here, but I'll be giving you a list of foods to add into your pantry. What about frozen veggies? Okay or not? Frozen veggies are good. Get some frozen veggies and stick them in your freezer. So I have some fun alternatives that we found. These are hearts of palm pasta. So this is a great alternative to normal pasta. It's just hearts of palm, sea salt, fumaric acid. It's a new one, but I think that's fine. So these are good with this with tomato sauce, and they're so simple to cook. Some crackers that we like are Mary's Gone crackers. So those are a good one. They're just seeds. And then rice noodles are fun. We make like a rice noodle pad thai with that, which is coconut aminos, olive oil, a little apple cider vinegar, some garlic. Yeah, and we add some like eggs, and that's very good. So coconut aminos are great. Soy sauce alternative. Coconut oil is always good to have. So yeah, those are olive oil, kind of the basics. So yeah, does anybody else have any questions?
I have one question. What were those crackers again? You said Mary's something crackers, but I didn't catch that middle word.
Mary's Gone crackers.
Gone, as in gone away? Okay.
Yes, G-O-N-E.
Okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't. I didn't have my camera. I couldn't see. So there's the Mary's. These are the hearts of palm pastas. So these we found at Whole Foods. You can order them online though. There's different brands. And then the rice noodles. Yeah, so that's that. But yes, I'll be sending you a list of like, so it's always great to have a bunch of meat in your freezer. Meat, veggies. Oh yeah, and then like nut butters are good. Oh, tuna. Tuna's a great one. Eggs are a quick meal. Yeah. So yeah, like quick meals would be like spinach, eggs, and like the hearts of palm pasta. Those are good ones. Yeah, tuna. Yeah, so those would be some I can think of right now.
Yeah, that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I think if anyone else has questions that they come up with later or while they're cleaning their pantry, they can reach out to Monica, and she's going to forward some documents and handouts from today that I'll share with everyone. So yeah, I hope everyone learned a lot about pantry cleaning.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. So yeah, is there anything that I didn't cover that you were hoping that I would cover?